The art of falling in love. Once upon a time, in a bustling city filled with people rushing to their destinations and lost in their own worlds, there lived two individuals whose paths were destined to cross. Their story would become an exquisite masterpiece in the gallery of love, for it was the story of how two hearts learned the delicate art of falling in love. Sophia was an artist with a heart that mirrored the vibrant colors she used to paint her canvases. Her studio, tucked away in a charming corner of the city, was a sanctuary where she expressed her emotions through her art. She painted with passion, filling her creations with the essence of her soul. Yet her heart was aching for something more. Across town, there was a different kind of artist named Lucas. He was a gifted violinist who could make his instrument weep with the raw emotion of his music. His performances were enchanting, yet they were also a way for him to escape the solitude that had settled in his heart. Their paths first crossed on a brisk autumn afternoon when Sophia was showcasing her latest collection at a local gallery. Lucas had been invited to provide the musical backdrop to the event. As he played, his melodies intertwined with the strokes of Sophia's brushes, creating a symphony of emotions that left everyone in the room spellbound. Sophia stood in the dimly lit gallery, her eyes closed as she absorbed the music. Lucas, in his own world, played with closed eyes as well. When their eyes finally met after the performance, it was as if the universe had conspired to connect their souls. They shared a knowing smile, and in that moment, they felt something profound, a connection that transcended words. After the event, Sophia approached Lucas, her heart pounding. "Your music, it was like magic," she said with a hint of awe in her voice. Lucas, still holding his violin, looked into her eyes and replied, "Your art, it's breathtaking. I've never seen anything quite like it." Their conversation flowed effortlessly, as if they had known each other for a lifetime. They talked about their dreams, their fears, and the beauty they saw in the world. Hours melted away like seconds, and they realized that they had discovered something extraordinary, an understanding that went beyond their shared appreciation for art. As the weeks passed, Sophia and Lucas continued to spend time together. They attended art exhibitions and concerts, and they found solace in each other's presence. Their connection deepened, and their hearts gradually opened like the petals of a delicate flower. One evening, as they sat on Sophia's studio floor, surrounded by half-finished paintings, Lucas confessed, "I've been afraid to love again. Music has always been my refuge, but now it's you who fills my heart with a symphony of emotions." Sophia placed her hand on his cheek and whispered, "I've been afraid too, afraid that my art would always be my only companion. But with you, I've found a muse in the melody of your violin." In that tender moment, they realized that they were no longer afraid. They had learned the art of falling in love with each other, and it was a masterpiece in its own right. Their love story continued to unfold, painting a vivid canvas of shared dreams and whispered promises. They supported each other's artistry, celebrating each other's successes, and consoling each other through the challenges. Together, they discovered that love was the most beautiful creation of all. One summer evening, beneath a sky painted in hues of orange and pink, Lucas took Sophia to a secluded garden filled with fragrant flowers and a charming gazebo. He turned to her, his eyes reflecting the setting sun, and said, "Sophia, from the moment our paths crossed, my life has been filled with colors I never knew existed. Will you paint the rest of our journey with me?" Tears of joy glistened in Sophia's eyes as she replied, "Lucas, you've brought music to my silent heart. I would be honored to paint the canvas of our love together." With a loving smile, Lucas took out a small velvet box from his pocket and opened it to reveal a stunning engagement ring. As he slipped it onto her finger, they sealed their commitment with a passionate kiss, surrounded by the symphony of nature's sounds. Their love story, The Art of Falling in Love, was a masterpiece that they would continue to create together. With each passing day, they learned that love was not only an emotion, but also a shared journey, an exquisite canvas upon which they could paint their dreams, and a harmonious melody that would echo in their hearts for eternity. Silk and Spice, a tale of love and tradition. In the charming city of Jaipur, where the scent of spices hung in the air and the vibrant colors of Rajasthan adorned every corner, lived two souls whose destinies were intricately woven into the fabric of tradition. This is the tale of Anya and Raj, a love story that unfolded amidst the rich tapestry of Indian culture. Anya, a young woman with almond-shaped eyes that sparkled like the stars, had always felt a deep connection to her roots. She was an accomplished dancer, trained in the classical art of Kathak, and her graceful movements told stories of love, longing, and tradition. Anya's family owned a renowned textile shop in the heart of Jaipur's bustling bazaar, famous for its exquisite silk saris adorned with intricate embroidery. Raj, on the other hand, was a modern man with an entrepreneurial spirit. He had returned to Jaipur after completing his studies abroad, determined to revitalize the family's struggling spice business. The fragrant aroma of spices filled the air as he worked tirelessly to bring new life to the family legacy. One fateful day, their paths crossed in the bustling marketplace. Anya had been admiring a display of Raj's spices, enchanted by the array of colors and flavors. As she reached for a jar of saffron, her fingers brushed against Raj's, and their eyes locked in a moment of serendipity. "I'm sorry," Anya stammered, her cheeks flushed with embarrassment. Raj smiled warmly. "No need to apologize. It seems that saffron has a way of bringing people together." Their laughter rang through the market, and thus their journey began. Over cups of fragrant chai and lively conversations about tradition, they discovered a deep connection that transcended their differences. As Raj shared stories of his family's spice business, Anya revealed her passion for Kathak and the centuries-old traditions that defined her life. They found solace in each other's dreams, a mutual respect for the customs that shaped their identities. Their friendship blossomed into love, like the blooming lotus flowers in Jaipur's ornate lakes. Yet they knew that their love would face trials, for their families held strong to traditional values. Anya's family, steeped in the world of silk and saris, expected her to marry within their community, while Raj's parents had arranged a match with the daughter of a spice merchant from a neighboring city. But Anya and Raj were determined to defy the constraints of tradition. They believed in the power of their love, a love that united silk and spice, dance and aroma, in a unique harmony. One moonlit night, as they sat on the steps of the ancient amber fort, Raj took Anya's hand and said, "Anya, my love for you is as timeless as the fort itself. I cannot imagine a life without you." Anya looked into Raj's eyes, her own filled with determination. "Raj, our love is like the colors of a rangoli, vibrant and uncontainable. We must find a way to bridge our worlds." Inspired by their love, they hatched a plan to unite their families through their shared love for tradition. Anya's expertise in classical dance and her family's textile shop, along with Raj's knowledge of spices and his family's business, became the catalysts for their vision. They organized a grand event, a cultural extravaganza that celebrated the rich heritage of Jaipur. Anya performed a mesmerizing Kathak dance, her sari a masterpiece of silk from her family's shop. Meanwhile, Raj curated a spice exhibition that tantalized the senses, filling the air with the intoxicating aroma of Indian spices. As the event unfolded, the families of Anya and Raj witnessed the love and devotion that had blossomed between them. Anya's graceful dance told stories of love, while Raj's spices added layers of flavor and aroma to the experience. The elders, touched by the beauty of tradition and the genuine love between Anya and Raj, began to reevaluate their rigid stances. Slowly but surely, the boundaries that had separated silk from spice began to blur. One day, Anya's father, who had once insisted on tradition above all else, approached Raj. "You have shown us that love can transcend boundaries and tradition can evolve," he said. "You have my blessing to marry my daughter." Raj's father, moved by the same realization, embraced Anya's mother and said, "Your family's saris and our spices can coexist in harmony, just as our children have shown us." With the blessings of their families, Anya and Raj's love story took a beautiful turn. They celebrated their union in a grand wedding that blended the customs of both families, where silk and spice intertwined seamlessly. Their wedding became a symbol of love's ability to break down barriers and unite tradition with modernity. Anya continued to dance, now with Raj by her side, while Raj expanded his spice business with the support of Anya's family's textile shop. Together, they created a world where silk and spice coexisted in perfect harmony. As the years passed, their love remained as vibrant as the colors of Rajasthan, as fragrant as the spices that filled the air, and as timeless as the traditions that defined their lives. Whispers of the Heart, an unheard love story. In a quaint coastal town, where the gentle waves of the sea kissed the shore and the salty breeze carried secrets through the air, there lived two souls who were destined to find love in the most unconventional way. This is the unheard love story of Josephine and Ethan. Josephine was a talented violinist who had spent most of her life dedicated to her music. She lived in a small cottage overlooking the ocean, where the melodic cadence of the waves served as her constant companion. Josephine was known throughout the town for her enchanting performances at the local cafe, where her violin spoke the words her heart could not. Ethan, on the other hand, was a gifted writer who had a penchant for crafting heartfelt love letters. He frequented the same cafe, finding inspiration in the rhythm of the sea and the music that echoed within its walls. Ethan had a secret, though, a deep, profound love for Josephine, the violinist who enchanted his soul with her melodies. Every day, as Josephine played her violin at the cafe, Ethan sat at his corner table, listening intently to the passionate notes that flowed from her instrument. He felt a connection with her, one that went beyond the music, but he could never muster the courage to approach her. Instead, he poured his feelings into the love letters he wrote, pouring his heart onto the pages that would never be read. Josephine, on the other hand, was aware of a secret admirer in the cafe. She had often noticed Ethan in the corner, his eyes fixed on her as she played. She found herself drawn to the melancholy in his gaze, sensing that there was more to him than met the eye. But she, too, hesitated to make the first move. One fateful evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the cafe was bathed in the soft glow of candlelight, Josephine played a particularly haunting melody on her violin. The music hung in the air, heavy with unspoken emotions. It was a melody that seemed to speak directly to Ethan's heart, unlocking the door to his feelings. Unable to contain his emotions any longer, Ethan decided to take a chance. He penned a love letter that spilled his deepest emotions onto the page, leaving nothing unsaid. That night, he carefully placed the letter inside a small wooden box, along with all the unsent letters he had written over the years. The next morning, as the first rays of dawn painted the sky with hues of pink and gold, Ethan walked to the beach near Josephine's cottage. With trembling hands, he dug a small hole in the sand and buried the box, hoping that somehow, someday, Josephine would discover his love. Weeks turned into months, and the buried secret remained hidden beneath the sands of time. But fate had other plans. One stormy night, as a tempestuous sea battered the shore, the sands shifted, revealing the hidden box. Josephine, feeling an inexplicable urge to take a walk along the beach, stumbled upon the box. Her curiosity piqued. She carefully opened it and began to read the heartfelt letters inside. As she read each word, she felt a deep resonance with the writer's emotions. It was as though the letters had been penned for her, and she realized that the secret admirer from the cafe was none other than Ethan. Overwhelmed with emotions, Josephine decided to take a chance of her own. The next evening, at the cafe where their paths had crossed so many times, she approached Ethan at his corner table. Her heart pounded, her voice trembling as she spoke. "I've read your letters," she confessed, her eyes filled with a mixture of vulnerability and hope. Ethan, startled yet elated, looked into her eyes and saw his unspoken dreams reflected there. "You have?" he replied, his voice equally trembling. Josephine nodded, a warm smile spreading across her face. "Your words, they touched my heart, Ethan. They made me realize that sometimes the most beautiful love stories are the ones that are never spoken." Ethan, unable to contain his joy, took Josephine's hand in his, and they shared a moment of profound connection, their unheard love finally finding a voice. As Josephine continued to play her violin, Ethan began to write a new chapter in their story, a chapter filled with the music of their hearts, the whispered promises of their love, and the knowledge that some secrets are meant to be revealed in their own time. And so, in the quaint coastal town where the sea whispered its secrets and the salty breeze carried the echoes of an unheard love, Josephine and Ethan's love story unfolded, a love story that had been hidden in plain sight, waiting for the right moment to be heard and cherished for all eternity. The wedding date. In the heart of New York City, where the bustling streets echoed with the rhythm of life, lived a young woman named Lily. She was a vivacious soul, brimming with life and laughter, and she had a secret, one that she kept locked away in the deepest chambers of her heart. As the invitations for her sister Emma's wedding arrived one by one, Lily couldn't help but feel a sense of melancholy. Emma, her younger sister by 2 years, was about to marry the love of her life, Mark. Lily was overjoyed for Emma, but a profound loneliness had settled within her. Lily had always been the bridesmaid, never the bride. She had watched countless friends and family members find love and happiness, while her own heart remained unclaimed. Yet there was a glimmer of hope that danced in the depths of her heart, a hope that perhaps, one day, her turn for love would come. One evening, as Lily sat at her favorite coffee shop, sipping her latte and leafing through a book of love poems, a stranger approached her. His name was Jack, and he had been captivated by the sight of Lily engrossed in her book, her eyes sparkling with every word she read. Jack was a charming and witty man with a magnetic personality. He was in New York for business and had a few days to spare before returning home. As he struck up a conversation with Lily, they found themselves laughing and sharing stories as if they had known each other for a lifetime. As the evening turned to night, Lily reluctantly realized that it was time to leave. She had enjoyed her time with Jack immensely, and she couldn't help but feel a pang of sadness at the thought of saying goodbye. Just as she was about to gather her things, Jack spoke up. "Lily, I know this might sound crazy, but would you be my date for a wedding this weekend?" Lily was taken aback. "A wedding? Whose wedding?" Jack smiled mischievously. "Well, it just so happens that my cousin is getting married, and I'd rather not go alone. What do you say? Will you be my wedding date?" Lily hesitated for a moment, her heart racing with a mix of excitement and uncertainty. She barely knew Jack, but there was something about him that felt right. In a spontaneous leap of faith, she agreed. The weekend arrived, and Lily found herself standing outside a charming countryside chapel, hand in hand with Jack. She wore a beautiful dress that she had bought for Emma's wedding, and Jack looked dashing in his suit. As they entered the chapel, they were greeted with curious glances from Jack's family. They had never met Lily before, and Jack's explanation that she was a last-minute date for the wedding raised a few eyebrows. Nevertheless, they were gracious and welcoming. The wedding was a beautiful affair, filled with love and laughter. Lily and Jack danced, shared stories, and reveled in the joy of the occasion. They even caught the bride's bouquet together, causing a ripple of laughter among the guests. As the night grew darker and the stars shone brightly in the sky, Lily and Jack found themselves sitting on a bench outside the chapel. The music and laughter from the wedding reception filled the air around them. Lily turned to Jack and said, "Thank you for inviting me to be your date, Jack. I never expected to have such a wonderful time." Jack smiled, his eyes fixed on her. "Lily, I'm the one who should be thanking you. You've brought a touch of magic to this wedding, and I'm grateful to have met you." Their conversation took a more serious turn as they began to share their dreams and fears, their past loves and heartbreaks. They talked about the elusive nature of love and how sometimes it arrived when you least expected it. As the night wore on, Jack leaned in and kissed Lily under the starlit sky. It was a kiss filled with longing and possibility, a kiss that held the promise of a love yet to be discovered. When the weekend came to an end, Jack had to return to his hometown. As he bid Lily farewell, he whispered, "I know this may sound crazy, but I can't imagine saying goodbye to you forever. Will you let me see you again?" Lily nodded, her heart brimming with hope. "Yes, Jack, I'd love to see you again." And so, they began a long-distance relationship filled with late-night phone calls, heartfelt letters, and weekend visits whenever possible. They grew closer with each passing day, and their love blossomed like the most beautiful of flowers. One day, as Jack stood outside Lily's apartment in New York City, he took a deep breath and said, "Lily, I love you. I've loved you since the moment I saw you in that coffee shop, lost in your book of love poems." Tears welled up in Lily's eyes as she replied, "Jack, I love you too. You are my greatest surprise, my unexpected love." With those words, Jack got down on one knee and presented Lily with a ring, a symbol of their love, a love that had bloomed when they least expected it. Lily and Jack's love story continued to unfold, and they decided to get married in the very chapel where they had attended their first wedding together. It was a celebration of love's serendipity, a testament to the belief that sometimes the best things in life happen when you least expect them. As they exchanged vows under the same starlit sky where they had shared their first kiss, Lily and Jack knew that their love story was destined to be a beautiful and enduring one. Their journey, which began as a spontaneous invitation to be a wedding date, had led them to a deep and abiding love for each other. When love blooms. In the quiet town of Willowbrook, where the days rolled on in peaceful harmony, two souls were about to embark on a journey that would forever alter the course of their lives. It was a story of love that blossomed like the most delicate of flowers, unfolding with each passing season. Emily was a young woman with an unquenchable thirst for knowledge. She had moved to Willowbrook to work as a librarian, seeking solace among the dusty shelves of books and the hushed whispers of readers. Her heart was like an undiscovered novel, waiting for the right person to turn its pages. Nathan, on the other hand, was a rugged gardener who tended to the town's beloved botanical garden. He had a special gift, a green thumb that could coax life from even the most stubborn of plants. Nathan's soul was deeply intertwined with the earth, and he found solace in the company of blossoms and blooms. Their paths first crossed one bright spring morning when Emily decided to take a stroll through the botanical garden. The air was filled with the sweet scent of flowers in bloom, and the garden was a tapestry of colors that danced in the morning sunlight. As Emily wandered through the garden, she came across a strikingly beautiful rosebush, its petals a deep crimson. She couldn't resist the temptation to reach out and touch one of the velvety blooms. Just as her fingers brushed against the petals, a voice interrupted her reverie. "That's my favorite rose," Nathan said with a warm smile. He had been watching her from behind a row of tall sunflowers. Startled, Emily turned to face him. "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to." Nathan chuckled, cutting her off. "No need to apologize. The roses here are meant to be touched and admired." As they stood among the flowers, Nathan began to share stories about each plant and its unique characteristics. Emily was captivated by his knowledge and passion for gardening. They spent hours talking, their conversation flowing like a gentle stream. Over the next few weeks, Emily found herself visiting the botanical garden more frequently. Each time she did, she would seek out Nathan, and they would explore the garden together. Emily marveled at the way Nathan cared for the plants, nurturing them with tenderness and dedication. One sunny afternoon, as they sat on a bench beneath a flowering cherry blossom tree, Emily couldn't help but confide in Nathan. "I've always been drawn to books because they hold so much knowledge and wisdom. But being here with you, among these living, breathing plants, feels like a different kind of enlightenment." Nathan smiled, his eyes crinkling at the corners. "Nature has a way of teaching us things that books cannot. It's the poetry of life, written in petals and leaves." As the seasons changed, so did their friendship. They attended local events together, explored the town's hidden gems, and shared secrets they had never told anyone else. Emily found herself drawn to Nathan's gentle nature and his ability to make her feel like the most important person in the world. One crisp autumn day, Emily and Nathan found themselves in the heart of the botanical garden, surrounded by trees ablaze with vibrant red and gold leaves. Emily turned to Nathan, her heart racing, and said, "Nathan, there's something I need to tell you." Nathan looked at her, his eyes filled with curiosity. "What is it, Emily?" Taking a deep breath, Emily confessed, "I've fallen in love with you, Nathan. Your passion for life and the way you care for this garden have touched my heart in ways I can't describe." Nathan's heart swelled with emotion as he replied, "Emily, I've been waiting for the right moment to tell you that I've fallen in love with you too. You are the most beautiful flower in my garden, and my heart has been yours since the day we met." With their hearts laid bare, Emily and Nathan leaned in and shared their first kiss beneath the autumn leaves, sealing their love with a promise that their journey together was just beginning. Their love story continued to bloom like the flowers in the botanical garden. They supported each other's dreams, with Emily finding inspiration for her writing in the garden's beauty, and Nathan expanding his garden to include varieties of roses from around the world. One spring, on the anniversary of their first meeting, Nathan led Emily to a secluded corner of the garden where he had planted a rose bush with petals the color of her favorite books. He knelt down and presented her with a single crimson rose, its fragrance filling the air. "Emily," Nathan said, his voice filled with love, "this rose is a symbol of our love, a love that bloomed in this garden. Will you marry me and let our love continue to grow like the flowers that surround us?" Tears of joy glistened in Emily's eyes as she said, "Yes, Nathan, I will marry you, and together we will cultivate a love that will last a lifetime." And so, in the heart of the botanical garden, surrounded by the beauty of nature and the love that had bloomed between them, Nathan and Emily began a new chapter in their love story. A chapter filled with the promise of a future as vibrant and enduring as the flowers that graced their garden. In Willowbrook, where the days rolled on in peaceful harmony, two hearts had discovered that love, like the seasons, had its own perfect timing. And in the garden where their love had first taken root, they would continue to nurture it year after year as it bloomed and flourished, a testament to the enduring power of love. Love's Second Chance. In the quiet coastal town of Harbor Haven, where the gentle ebb and flow of the sea mirrored the rhythm of life, there lived a woman named Sarah. Her eyes, once filled with the sparkle of youth, had grown dim over the years, but her heart remained as tender as the day she had met the love of her life, Robert. Sarah and Robert had been high school sweethearts, the kind of young love that feels like it can conquer the world. They had spent their days exploring the shoreline, holding hands on long walks, and dreaming of a future together. Their love was a story whispered in the sea breeze, a tale of two hearts entwined. But as they entered adulthood, life took them in different directions. Robert's dreams led him to the bustling city, where he pursued a career in finance, while Sarah remained in Harbor Haven, caring for her aging parents and working as a local school teacher. They tried to make their relationship work, but the distance and the demands of life slowly pulled them apart. One fateful summer, as the sun cast its golden glow upon Harbor Haven's shores, Robert came to visit. It had been years since they had seen each other, and both carried the weight of their own regrets and lost dreams. They met at their favorite seaside spot, a weathered bench overlooking the vast expanse of the ocean. The sea, with its eternal waves, seemed to echo the unspoken words between them. "Sarah," Robert began, his voice trembling with emotion, "I never stopped thinking about you. I've missed you every day." Tears welled up in Sarah's eyes as she replied, "Robert, I've missed you too, but life took us in different directions, and I thought our chance at love had sailed away." Robert reached out and took her hand in his. "Sarah, I've realized that I can't live without you. I want us to have a second chance at love, to make up for the years we've lost." Sarah's heart ached with longing, but she hesitated. "Robert, so much has changed. I have responsibilities here in Harbor Haven." Robert smiled gently. "I've thought about that, and I'm willing to move back to Harbor Haven. I want to be with you, to start over and build a life together." Sarah's eyes filled with tears of joy as she nodded. "Yes, Robert. Yes, I want that too." Their love story, once interrupted by the currents of life, was given a second chance that day. Robert returned to the city, determined to wrap up his affairs and make Harbor Haven his home once again. Sarah, with a renewed sense of hope, prepared for his return. As the seasons changed, so did their lives. Robert found a job in the small town, and together, he and Sarah built a cozy cottage near the beach. They spent their days rediscovering the magic of Harbor Haven, the sunsets that painted the sky in hues of orange and pink, the sound of seagulls calling to each other, and the feel of sand beneath their feet as they strolled hand in hand along the shore. Their love was like a phoenix rising from the ashes, stronger and more vibrant than ever. They laughed, they danced, and they relished in the simple pleasures of life that they had missed out on during their years apart. One summer evening, under a sky filled with stars, Robert took Sarah to the same seaside bench where they had reunited. He got down on one knee, just as he had before, and presented her with a beautiful diamond ring. "Sarah," he said, his voice filled with love, "I may not have given you the life we dreamed of when we were young, but I promise to spend the rest of my days making up for it. Will you marry me and make me the happiest man in the world?" Tears of joy streamed down Sarah's face as she replied, "Yes, Robert. 1,000 times yes." With the same bench that had witnessed their reunion as their backdrop, Robert and Sarah sealed their promise with a kiss, and their love, rekindled like a long-lost flame, burned brighter than ever before. Their wedding, a celebration of love's second chance, was a heartfelt affair attended by the entire town. Harbor Haven rejoiced in their story, for it was a reminder that love could endure the test of time, and that second chances could be more beautiful than firsts. As the years passed, Robert and Sarah continued to live their love story by the sea. They grew old together, their hands still entwined, and their hearts still filled with the enduring love that had brought them back together. In the quiet coastal town of Harbor Haven, where the sea's gentle embrace held the promise of eternity, Sarah and Robert's love story served as a beacon of hope, a testament to the idea that love, once lost, could be found again, and that second chances were, in fact, worth waiting for. Dil Se, Matters of the Heart. In the vibrant city of Mumbai, where the bustling streets were alive with a cacophony of sounds and the air was thick with the scent of street food and spices, there lived a young woman named Meera. She was a spirited and ambitious journalist, determined to uncover the truth in a world filled with stories waiting to be told. Meera's life revolved around the newsroom of Mumbai Daily, where she worked tirelessly to bring to light the stories that often went unnoticed. Her dedication to her career left little room for romance, and she had resigned herself to a life focused solely on her work. One sweltering summer morning, as the sun cast its golden glow upon the city, Meera received an assignment that would change the course of her life. She was tasked with covering the story of a charitable foundation that was making waves in the city. The foundation, known as Dil Se, was committed to improving the lives of underprivileged children in Mumbai's slums. Meera arrived at the dilapidated building that served as the foundation's headquarters, her camera in hand and notepad ready. As she stepped inside, she was met with a scene that tugged at her heartstrings. Children from the slums, their faces filled with hope, were engrossed in various activities, from learning to read to creating colorful art. The man behind Dil Se was Arav, a charismatic and compassionate social worker who had dedicated his life to this cause. He was a man of few words but boundless determination, and his eyes held a deep, unwavering resolve to make a difference. Meera interviewed Arav, captivated by his passion and the impact Dil Se was having on the lives of these children. She wrote a compelling article that showcased the foundation's work, and it was published in Mumbai Daily the following week. The story touched the hearts of many readers, inspiring them to contribute to Dil Se's mission. As Mira continued to cover Dilce's progress, she and Arav spent more time together. Their interactions moved beyond the realm of journalist and subject. A genuine friendship began to bloom. Mira was drawn to Arav's selflessness and his ability to see hope in the most challenging of circumstances. One evening, as they sat on the rooftop of the Dilce building, looking out over the sprawling city, Mira asked, "Arav, what drives you to do this work? It must be so challenging." Arav gazed at the horizon, his voice soft but filled with conviction. "I grew up in these very slums, Mira. I know what it's like to have dreams but lack opportunities. I believe that every child, no matter where they come from, deserves a chance at a better life." Mira admired Arav's dedication, but couldn't help but notice the loneliness in his eyes. "Arav, you've given so much to these children, but have you ever thought about your own happiness?" Arav's gaze turned to Mira, and their eyes met. "I find happiness in their smiles, in knowing that I've made a difference. That's enough for me." Days turned into weeks, and Mira and Arav's bond grew stronger. They shared their dreams, their fears, and their deepest aspirations. Mira's once unwavering dedication to her career began to waver as her heart yearned for something more. One rainy evening, as they stood by the window of the Dilce building, watching the monsoon rain pour down, Arav turned to Mira and said, "Mira, I've never met anyone like you. You have a gift for telling stories, for making people care, but I've also seen the longing in your eyes. What do you want, Mira?" Tears mingled with raindrops on Mira's cheeks as she replied, "Arav, I want to make a difference, just like you. But I also want to be with someone who understands my passion, who shares my dreams." Arav took her hand in his, raindrops glistening on their intertwined fingers. "Mira, I care about you deeply, and I understand your dreams, but I also know that you have to follow your heart." Their connection was undeniable, yet the timing was complicated. Mira faced a crossroads: her career, her commitment to Dilce, and her blossoming love for Arav. She knew she had to make a choice. One night, Mira stood on the rooftop, the city's twinkling lights spread out before her like a sea of stars. She had made her decision. She would follow her heart and be with Arav, but she would also continue to write and advocate for Dilce's mission. When she shared her decision with Arav, he embraced her tightly, his heart filled with joy. They embarked on a new chapter together, their love story intertwined with the story of Dilce. Mira's articles continued to shed light on the Foundation's work, garnering even more support. As the years passed, Mira and Arav's love deepened, and they became a beacon of hope for the children of the slums. Dilce expanded its reach, providing education, healthcare, and opportunities for countless underprivileged children. One summer evening, with the sun setting over Mumbai's skyline, Arav turned to Mira and said, "Mira, you've given Dilce a voice, and together, we've given these children a future. I couldn't have asked for a more incredible partner in both life and work." Mira smiled, her heart overflowing with love and contentment. "Arav, you've shown me that matters of the heart are just as important as matters of the world. Together, we've found a love that not only touches our hearts, but also changes lives." In the heart of Mumbai, where dreams were born and destinies were rewritten, Mira and Arav's love story continued to flourish, proving that love and purpose could coexist and create a world where matters of the heart truly mattered. The Coffee Shop Crush, a forbidden love story. It all started at the coffee shop. Alex had been coming to the same coffee shop every morning for years. It was his favorite place to start his day, with its warm atmosphere and delicious coffee. But one day, he noticed something new. a beautiful woman sitting at a table by the window. She had long, flowing hair and piercing blue eyes. She was reading a book, and she seemed completely oblivious to the world around her. Alex was immediately smitten. The next day, Alex came to the coffee shop early, hoping to catch a glimpse of the woman again. He wasn't disappointed. She was sitting at the same table, reading the same book. Alex gathered up his courage and walked over to her table. "Excuse me," he said. "I couldn't help but notice that you come here often." The woman looked up from her book and smiled. "Yes, I do," she said. "I love this place." "Me too," Alex said. "My name is Alex." "I'm Sarah," the woman said. Alex and Sarah chatted for a while, and Alex quickly realized that she was even more intelligent and charming than she was beautiful. They made plans to meet again the next day, and the day after that. Alex and Sarah quickly fell in love. They spent every spare moment together, talking, laughing, and exploring the city. Alex had never felt this way about anyone before. He knew that Sarah was the one for him, but there was one problem. Sarah was from a wealthy and powerful family. Alex, on the other hand, came from a modest background. Sarah's parents disapproved of their relationship, and they made it clear that they would never accept Alex as their son-in-law. Alex and Sarah tried to ignore their parents' disapproval, but it was becoming increasingly difficult. They knew that they couldn't keep their relationship a secret forever. One day, Alex and Sarah decided to go for a walk in the park. They were sitting on a bench talking about their future when Sarah's parents suddenly appeared. "Sarah," her father said, "we need to talk." Alex stood up. "Mr. and Mrs. Williams," he said, "it's a pleasure to meet you." "It's not a pleasure to meet you," Sarah's father said. "We've come to tell you to stop seeing our daughter." "But I love Sarah," Alex said. "That doesn't matter," Sarah's mother said. "You're not good enough for her." "That's not true," Alex said. "I'm a good person, and I would treat Sarah with the utmost respect." "We don't care," Sarah's father said. "We're telling you to stay away from our daughter." Alex looked at Sarah. "What do you want to do?" he asked. Sarah looked at her parents. "I love Alex," she said. "I'm not going to stop seeing him." Sarah's parents were furious. They stormed off, leaving Alex and Sarah alone. Alex and Sarah knew that their relationship would be difficult, but they were determined to be together. They continued to see each other in secret, and their love for each other only grew stronger. One day, Alex decided to take Sarah to a special place. He drove her to a secluded beach where they could be alone. Alex got down on one knee and pulled out a ring. "Sarah," he said, "will you marry me?" Sarah's eyes filled with tears. "Yes," she said, "of course I will." Alex slipped the ring on Sarah's finger, and they kissed. Alex and Sarah knew that their parents would never approve of their marriage, but they didn't care. They were determined to be together, no matter what. They got married in a small ceremony, surrounded by their closest friends and family. Sarah's parents refused to attend, but Alex and Sarah didn't let that ruin their day. Alex and Sarah have been married for 5 years now, and their love for each other is stronger than ever. They have 2 beautiful children, and they live a happy and fulfilling life. Alex and Sarah's story is a reminder that true love can conquer all. No matter what obstacles they faced, they never gave up on each other. Their love story is an inspiration to us all. Love Beyond Time. The Enchanted Library. Once upon a time, in a quaint little town nestled deep within the forest, lived a young woman named Isabella. She was known for her striking beauty, but what truly set her apart was her insatiable thirst for knowledge. Isabella had a secret, a hidden library in her attic that held the most extraordinary collection of books, each with a story more enchanting than the last. One rainy afternoon, Isabella decided to visit her cherished sanctuary. She climbed the creaky attic stairs, dusting off old tomes, and reached the door to the library. As she swung it open, she noticed something unusual, a soft, golden glow emanating from one of the shelves. Drawn by the enchanting light, Isabella approached and found an ancient-looking book titled The Chronicles of Timeless Love. Its pages seemed to whisper secrets of forgotten romance, and without thinking, she started reading. The book told the tale of a love that transcended centuries. Long ago, in the same forest, there lived a humble artist named Samuel. His paintings were said to possess magical qualities, bringing life to the canvas. One day, while exploring the woods for inspiration, he stumbled upon a hidden grove. In the center of the grove stood a colossal oak tree with a heart-shaped hollow. Intrigued, Samuel ventured closer. Inside the hollow, he found an exquisite locket adorned with intricate carvings. It was unlike anything he had ever seen. Little did he know that this locket was the key to a love story that would defy time itself. Back in the attic, Isabella was captivated by the narrative. The locket's description seemed oddly familiar. Her heart raced as she looked down at her own chest, feeling the cool metal of her locket resting there. It had been a family heirloom, passed down through generations. As she read further, the story unfolded. Samuel, driven by an unexplainable urge, painted the locket's intricate design on a canvas. The moment his brush touched the canvas, the locket itself began to glow, resonating with the painting. A mystical connection was formed. Isabella's locket pulsed with the same golden light as in the story. Could it be possible? She continued reading, eager to uncover the secrets of this timeless love. The book narrated how, every night, as Samuel gazed at his enchanted painting, he felt an inexplicable connection to the owner of the locket, a connection that transcended time and space. He could feel her presence, even though he had never met her. Isabella's heart skipped a beat. Could this be the reason she felt an unexplainable connection to the attic and her locket? Was Samuel's love story somehow intertwined with her own? Driven by curiosity and a deepening sense of destiny, Isabella delved into the story's next chapter. Samuel's quest to find the owner of the locket led him to the attic of a charming cottage. Inside, he discovered an enchanting library. The attic's atmosphere was thick with mystery and love, much like the one Isabella now found herself in. Samuel's heart raced as he realized that the owner of the locket was the keeper of this hidden treasure trove of knowledge. Just as he touched the locket on the canvas, he reached out to the books on the shelves, and they glowed to life in his hands. It was as if the library itself welcomed him. As the story unfolded, Isabella realized the profound connection she shared with Samuel. The library, the locket, and the enchanting golden light were all part of the same magical tapestry. Isabella felt an irresistible urge to explore her attic further, to see if the story's magic could be real. She brushed off the dust from an old canvas tucked away in a corner. To her amazement, the canvas bore the same intricate design as her locket. As she touched the canvas, it began to shimmer with a golden light, just like in the story. The attic itself seemed to come alive, echoing with the whispers of Samuel's love for the library's keeper. In the final chapters of the Chronicles of Timeless Love, Isabella read how Samuel and the keeper of the library, whose name was revealed to be Eleanor, discovered their connection through the enchanted locket and the mystical library. Their love blossomed in a world where time held no bounds, and they spent eternity exploring the pages of knowledge and the depths of their hearts. Isabella's eyes welled with tears as she realized that Samuel and Eleanor's love story was not confined to the pages of a book. It was her own story, too. The attic, the locket, and the library had brought her and Samuel together across time and space. Over the days and months that followed, Isabella and Samuel's connection deepened. They communicated through the enchanted canvas and discovered the uncanny similarities in their lives and dreams. Their love story transcended time and became a testament to the magic of love and destiny. As Isabella closed the book, she couldn't help but smile through her tears. She knew that her attic and the enchanted library held the key to a love that was destined to be, a love that would endure through all of time's trials. In that attic, where books whispered secrets and a locket glowed with enchantment, Isabella found not only the love story of Samuel and Eleanor, but also her own timeless love story. A love story that defied the boundaries of time and space, just like the magical world of the enchanted library. The Forgotten Melody. Once upon a time, in a small, quiet village nestled among rolling hills, there lived an old woman named Eliza. She was known far and wide as the keeper of the village's most cherished secret, a secret that had been passed down through generations. It was the secret of the Forgotten Melody. Eliza's house, a quaint cottage with a thatched roof and a garden teeming with colorful blooms, was always filled with the sweet scent of baking bread. Villagers would visit her not just for her delicious loaves, but also to listen to her enchanting tales. One chilly autumn evening, as the sun painted the sky in shades of orange and pink, a young girl named Lily ventured to Eliza's cottage. Lily was a curious child with an insatiable hunger for stories. She had heard whispers about the Forgotten Melody and was eager to learn more. With a knock on the weathered wooden door, Lily was welcomed into Eliza's cozy home. The old woman with silver hair and twinkling eyes greeted her warmly and offered a slice of freshly baked bread. As they sat by the crackling fire, Lily couldn't contain her curiosity any longer. "Eliza," she began, "I've heard stories about the Forgotten Melody. Can you tell me what it is?" Eliza smiled and nodded, her eyes gleaming with memories. She began her tale. Long ago, in this very village, there lived a gifted musician named Lucas. He could make melodies dance from his violin like no one else. His music had the power to heal wounds and mend hearts. People from near and far would gather in the village square to listen to his enchanting tunes. But one fateful day, Lucas fell in love with a girl named Isabella. Their love was deep and pure, but it was not meant to be. Isabella's family had to move far away, and their parting was heart-wrenching. Lucas was devastated, and he decided to compose a farewell melody for Isabella, a melody that would convey all the love he felt for her. He poured his heart and soul into it, and when he played it on his violin, it was so hauntingly beautiful that it brought tears to the eyes of all who heard it. The melody, though, was so powerful that it had unintended consequences. It had the power to make the listener forget everything except the melody itself. It erased memories, and soon, people could only remember the melody, but not the musician who created it. Lucas became known as the Forgotten Musician. Lily was captivated by the tale. She asked, "What happened to Lucas?" Eliza's eyes saddened as she continued. Lucas, heartbroken and forgotten, left the village one day, never to be seen again. But he left behind his violin, hoping that someday someone might unlock the melody's secret and restore his memory. Lily was determined to uncover the truth behind the Forgotten Melody. She decided to embark on a journey to find Lucas and bring his memories back to the village. Eliza, seeing the spark of determination in the young girl's eyes, offered her Lucas's violin, the key to unraveling the mystery. With the violin in hand, Lily set off on her quest. She traveled through dense forests, crossed rushing rivers, and climbed towering mountains. Along the way, she played the forgotten melody, hoping to find clues or anyone who might remember Lucas. After months of searching, Lily reached a distant village. There, she met an elderly woman who had a glimmer of recognition in her eyes when she heard the melody. She told Lily about a hermit who lived deep in the woods, known only as the Melody Keeper. Lily ventured into the forest and found the hermit, an old man with a long white beard, sitting by a campfire. As she played the melody, tears welled up in his eyes. He revealed that he was Lucas, the forgotten musician himself. Lucas's memories began to flood back as the melody filled the air. He embraced Lily with gratitude and made his way back to the village. The forgotten melody had been remembered, and the village celebrated with a grand feast. As Lucas played his violin once more in the village square, the melody was sweeter than ever. People wept tears of joy, remembering not only the melody, but also the love story of Lucas and Isabella. It was a tale of love that had transcended time and memory. Lily had fulfilled her quest, and the village would never forget the forgotten melody or the brave girl who had brought it back to life. It was a reminder that even the most powerful of melodies could never truly be forgotten as long as there were those willing to seek and remember them. The Lighthouse's Promise. Along the rugged coastline of a small fishing village, where the sea's turbulent waves met the towering cliffs, there stood a lighthouse that had watched over the village for generations. It was not just a beacon of light to guide the fishermen home. It held a promise that had endured for centuries, a promise of love, hope, and a bond that transcended time. In the heart of the village, there lived a young woman named Isabella. She was known for her ethereal beauty, her kindness, and her eyes that seemed to hold the secrets of the sea. Isabella had grown up listening to the village's tales of the lighthouse's promise, a promise that true love would be sealed with a kiss beneath the light of the full moon, ensuring a lifetime of happiness. For as long as Isabella could remember, she had cherished the dream of finding her true love and sealing their bond beneath the lighthouse's radiant glow. She believed in the promise with all her heart and knew that her destiny was tied to the mysterious force that had brought countless couples together. One night, as the full moon bathed the village in its silvery light, Isabella stood beneath the lighthouse, her heart filled with hope and anticipation. The sea breeze carried the sweet scent of the salty air, and the waves sang a melodic tune, a symphony of nature's elements celebrating the promise of love. As Isabella waited, she heard the soft footsteps of someone approaching. It was a young fisherman named Leo, a quiet and contemplative soul who had long admired Isabella from afar. He had come to the lighthouse that night with a heart full of love and the same dream of the lighthouse's promise. Their eyes met beneath the lighthouse's radiant beam, and without a word, they knew they were meant to be. Leo reached out and gently cupped Isabella's face, drawing her close. With the full moon as their witness and the sea as their serenade, they shared a kiss filled with the promise of a love that would endure for all eternity. As their lips met, a warm, golden light emanated from the lighthouse, casting a shimmering aura around them. It was as if the lighthouse itself had come alive to bless their union and seal the promise of their love. The village had never witnessed such a magical and breathtaking moment. From that night forward, Isabella and Leo's love story unfolded like a fairy tale. They were inseparable, their hearts forever bound by the enchanting kiss beneath the lighthouse's light. Their love brought joy and hope to the village, and their story became a cherished legend, a testament to the enduring power of love and the lighthouse's promise. Years passed, and Isabella and Leo grew old together, their love deepening with each passing day. They remained a beacon of hope and inspiration for the village, a living testament to the lighthouse's promise that had brought them together. On a quiet evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Isabella and Leo sat hand in hand beneath the lighthouse. Their eyes met, and they shared a knowing smile, the kind of smile that comes from a lifetime of shared dreams, joys, and sorrows. As the first stars appeared in the night sky, a soft breeze ruffled Isabella's hair, and she whispered to Leo, "Our love has been the most beautiful promise of all, one that has lasted a lifetime." Leo nodded, his eyes glistening with love. "Yes, my dear Isabella, our love has been our lighthouse, guiding us through the storms and the calm, always lighting the way to each other." With those words, Isabella and Leo leaned in and shared one final tender kiss beneath the lighthouse's light, a kiss that sealed their love, not just for this lifetime, but for all the lifetimes to come. As the village slept, the lighthouse continued to stand tall, its light flickering like a beacon of love and hope, a silent witness to the promise that had been fulfilled beneath its radiant glow, a promise that true love, once found, could transcend time and tide, and that love, like the sea, was eternal and boundless. A love worth waiting for. In a quaint little village nestled among rolling hills, where time seemed to pass at its own leisurely pace, there lived a young woman named Eliza. She was known throughout the village for her beauty, grace, and a heart that shone as bright as the morning sun. But Eliza harbored a secret, one she had carried in the depths of her heart for as long as she could remember. A love that had been blooming quietly, like a rare and delicate flower. The object of her affection was a young man named Benjamin. He was the son of a neighboring farmer, strong, kind, and gentle in both heart and demeanor. Their families had been friends for generations, and Eliza and Benjamin had grown up side by side, sharing secrets and adventures amidst the backdrop of the village's idyllic beauty. As they entered their teenage years, Eliza's feelings for Benjamin began to change. She found herself stealing glances at him during harvest festivals, her heart skipping a beat whenever their hands brushed while gathering wildflowers in the meadow. Benjamin, too, had undergone a transformation of his own. He saw Eliza not just as a childhood friend, but as a young woman whose smile could light up his world. Despite their budding affections for each other, they both held back their true feelings. The village was a close-knit community where everyone knew everyone else's business, and Eliza and Benjamin were afraid that revealing their love would invite scrutiny and gossip. One warm summer evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the stars began to twinkle in the night sky, Eliza and Benjamin found themselves sitting on the edge of the village's ancient stone well. They gazed out at the tranquil landscape, their hands almost touching but not quite. "Eliza," Benjamin said softly, his voice carrying the weight of unspoken words. "There's something I've wanted to tell you for a long time." Eliza turned toward him, her heart pounding in her chest. "What is it, Benjamin?" He took a deep breath and looked into her eyes. "I love you, Eliza. I've loved you for as long as I can remember." Eliza's heart soared, but she couldn't bring herself to admit her own feelings just yet. "Benjamin, I care for you deeply, too." As the moon cast its silvery glow upon them, Benjamin reached out and gently held Eliza's hand. Their fingers intertwined, and they shared a tender, starlit kiss, sealing their love with a promise that they would cherish forever. Their love remained a secret, hidden from prying eyes, but it continued to blossom with each passing day. They stole moments together in the meadow, shared secrets under the shade of ancient oak trees, and whispered their dreams into the night. One summer, as the village prepared for its annual fair, Eliza decided to enter the baking competition, a tradition passed down through her family for generations. She was known for her skill in the kitchen, and she hoped that her delectable pies and pastries would catch the judge's attention. Benjamin, too, had a plan. He entered the woodworking competition, crafting a magnificent wooden heart pendant with intricate carvings, a symbol of his love for Eliza. He hoped to present it to her as a surprise. The day of the fair arrived, and the village square bustled with activity. Eliza's pies and pastries drew a crowd of admirers, and the judges were impressed by the delicious treats. As the results were announced, Eliza's name was called as the winner, and she beamed with pride. Meanwhile, Benjamin's heart pendant garnered the first prize in the woodworking competition. He couldn't wait to give it to Eliza, knowing that it would be a symbol of their love, hidden in plain sight. That evening, as the fair came to a close and the villagers gathered for a bonfire, Benjamin took Eliza aside. He handed her a small wooden box, adorned with a ribbon. "What's this?" Eliza asked, her eyes filled with curiosity. "Open it," Benjamin replied with a smile. Eliza untied the ribbon and opened the box, revealing the exquisite heart pendant. Her eyes widened with surprise and delight. "It's beautiful, Benjamin. I love it." As she held the pendant in her hand, Benjamin gently placed it around her neck, fastening the clasp. "Now, everyone will know that you have my heart," he said, his voice filled with love. Eliza touched the pendant with reverence. "And you have mine," she whispered, and they sealed their love with a passionate kiss under the starry sky. Their love remained a secret to the village, but the pendant became a symbol of their affection, a token that they carried with them, hidden beneath their clothing, as a reminder of the love they shared. Years passed, and their love continued to grow. Eliza and Benjamin both pursued their dreams, supporting each other every step of the way. Eliza became a renowned baker, and her pies and pastries were sought after far and wide. Benjamin's woodworking skills became legendary, and his creations adorned the homes of villagers and travelers alike. One crisp autumn afternoon, as the leaves rustled in the breeze and the village was bathed in the warm glow of the setting sun, Benjamin led Eliza to the very spot where they had shared their first kiss. He knelt down on one knee, a glint of nervous excitement in his eyes. "Eliza," he began, his voice steady. "We've shared so many moments, and our love has endured in secret for far too long. Will you make me the happiest man in the world and become my wife?" Tears of joy welled up in Eliza's eyes as she nodded, her heart overflowing with love. "Yes, Benjamin. 1,000 times, yes." As Benjamin slipped a beautiful diamond ring onto Eliza's finger, they sealed their promise with a kiss, and their love, which had been worth waiting for, was finally brought into the open. The village rejoiced in their love story, for it was a testament to the enduring power of love and the belief that some loves are worth keeping as secrets until the time is right. Eliza and Benjamin's wedding became a celebration that echoed through the hills and valleys, and their love story became a cherished tale in the village, a reminder that true love, patient and steadfast, could conquer any obstacle and bloom like the rarest and most beautiful flower.